to our video podcast, Adult Learning and Education in Times of COVID-19. In today's episode, we are looking at the implications of the corona crisis for the youth in Kyrgyzstan. I am happy to welcome Akmaral Satinbaeva, who is the Executive Director of Youth of OSH, a youth organization that has been active in Kyrgyzstan for over 10 years. Besides its extensive experience working with young people, Youth of OSH is also lobbying for the country's youth policy improvement. Welcome, Akmaral.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
Akmaral, after several weeks of a rather strict quarantine in many regions of Kyrgyzstan, it is now gradually lifted. Is life in Kyrgyzstan slowly returning to normal, and how has the crisis situation affected the Kyrgyz population?
This is, as you mentioned, the situation is getting better. The routine life is slowly coming back. And of course, it's not stopped yet. Still, the government, people are fighting with this global issue, COVID. But of course, the crisis touched business sector, tourism sector, and unemployment is increased the country because many migrants are back from Russia to Kyrgyzstan, and but still we are in each crisis. If people are positive, we can use the opportunity to find some new ideas because it's the opportunity to make some progress. So that's why we see not only as a negative, but also we see the positive perspectives.
Let's look at youth. Large parts of Kyrgyzstan's population are children and young people. However, most of them have only little future prospects. By providing educational services, your organization gives young people the opportunity to empower themselves, both in economic terms as well as in terms of their societal participation. So what were your observations during the time of crisis? What did this lockdown mean, especially for the Kyrgyz youth? And which conclusions did your organization draw from the current situation?
So young people in Kyrgyzstan, as other global in other global countries, face the same situation challenges. First with the distance education, and we found out that not all the kids they have access to distance education because of the they don't have mobile phones or notebooks in each family. So that's why we try to help to mobilize among other people old used TV sets or notebooks or smartphones and give it to poor families. Also, as many young people, they stayed at home and they feel stressed and we adapt our several projects to online format. And one of the events is it's in the TEDx talks, so we call it Jashtar Camp, and around more than 10 famous speakers they meet online with youth. They motivated and inspired them to the new ideas because during the quarantine, for example, some business experts advised to youth to start some online business projects or to start some get online education.
What was very striking in Kyrgyzstan is that since the lockdown, many cases of suicide amongst young people have become public. How do you explain this fact, and how did Youth of OSH react to it?
This fact is very sad. Of course, 13 suicide cases of teenagers during the quarantine. And we are, as a young organization, try to address this issue. Um, as I mentioned, we work with young people, motivating and inspiring them, giving you knowledge, digital skills, and at the same time we worked with the parents, because this suicide we think happened because adult and youth, two generations, they stayed for a long time together, and which is not comfortable and not familiar, and that's why this misunderstanding in the communication we think happened, and that's why we also train parents on communication skills, how to help kids in such depression and stressful situations, how to ask the questions, how to create this positive dialogue. And also during this distance education, we faced that teachers are lack of digital skills, some teachers, mostly in the rural areas. And we trained teachers also. We worked on capacity building of teachers, on also on communication skills as well, more focused on digital skills. We tried to help them to teach internet instruments, how to use like webinars, Zoom platforms, and such instrument tools.
At the end of the interview, I would like to ask you for an overall assessment. What, in your opinion, can we learn from the crisis in regards to youth education?
Mm-hmm. First of all, as the organization, we did conclusion that online education, distance education is possible, that we can do a lot of online events. For example, we since 10 years we conduct very big event, youth event, offline event, which is covering over 1,000 of people, and it cost a lot. But this time we did it online and reached twice more people, but with the less of money. And so we did conclusion that now it's the time of online life, and the COVID is not ended, and maybe it will be for several years, who knows. That's why we have to be adaptive, flexible, and this is one conclusion, that we can continue doing online format, online education. The second, we really need to focus on digital education of youth, parents, and teachers, which is very important in order to make happen this online education. In Kyrgyzstan, I think it's becoming a trend that psychological education is important. So psychologists are important in schools. Comparing with Western education, we don't have at schools psychologists, and we see the big demand in that, and maybe this will be also one of the new trends in the Kyrgyz system of education, I hope.
Akmaral, thank you for having been our guest. We gained valuable insights into the reality of young people living in Kyrgyzstan. All the best to you and your organization, and take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.